Rao.
Yes, sir. I'm fine.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, sir.
Fine,
How are
thank
you?
you.
Good evening.
Fine, thank you. Good evening, good evening.
Shagun start
Where
karo.
are you?
I'm in London only.
London, okay. Okay. Thank you. Very good. Glad to see you.
Bhavanara?
Bana.
Okay, good.
Shagun start karo.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्. May all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all see auspiciousness, may no one suffer. With this eternal prayer, embodying the true spirit of Ayurveda, health, harmony, and happiness for all, I extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you to today's insightful session of the Ayurveda Utsav Divas series, gradually hosted by Excellence Ayurveda Academy. A very good evening to one and all. I am Shagun Agrawal, your anchor for this evening, and it is indeed my privilege and delight to host this enriching session with you all. Our academy remains deeply devoted to preserving and promoting the timeless wisdom of Ayurveda while presenting it in a way that is meaningful and relevant to the healthcare needs of the modern world. This entire initiative is being organized under the esteemed guidance of Vaidya Shadabali Siddiqui Sir and Vaidya Pallab Prajapati Sir, whose vision and mentorship continue to inspire us and illuminate our collective path forward. We would also like to take a moment to gratefully acknowledge our respected partners and supporters whose valuable collaboration has made this grand initiative possible. Collaboration partner Chaitanya Ayurveda, institutional partner Sanskriti Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, knowledge partner Govindam Coaching and Charak Ayurveda classes, gifting partner Level Up. Their continued support truly strengthens our mission of spreading the light of Ayurveda across the globe. With this collective spirit of dedication and collaboration, let us begin today's journey of wisdom and wellness. Today, we are privileged to welcome Dr. Venkata N. Joshi, sir, our distinguished global ambassador of Ayurveda. Dr. Joshi has contributed extensively in India through education and conferences, and in the United Kingdom through teaching, clinical practice, and his work for the APPG for Indian Traditional Sciences, Ayurveda Academy, and UCLH, where he has also been honored at the parliamentary level. Internationally, he has served as visiting faculty in Croatia, France, and Mexico, conducted workshops and seminars across Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, Belgium, Romania, and contributed to Ayurveda education in Sri Lanka, the USA, and most recently Portugal. He has also represented Ayurveda at the Ayush International Conference in Dubai 2024. In recognition of his global work, Dr. Joshi has had the honor of meeting UK parliamentarians, the Prime Minister of India, and members of the European Parliament. We are deeply honored to have him us today to speak on the topic and insight on scope and approach of a BAMS graduate across various countries in abroad. With great respect, I now invite Dr. Joshi sir to address the gathering. Sir, the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shagun Agarwal and Jadhav. Where are the audience? I'm astonished to see this is a recorded program for YouTube.
YouTube, sir. YouTube.
It's a YouTube, so no audience.
Yes. Yes, sir. All audience in YouTube.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Fortunately, I have one audience. My colleague, my classmate, Dr. K. Ishwar Rao,
Yes, sir.
joined from Hyderabad, where I studied with him since 1978 in Ayurveda College. So, if it is the benefiting for the YouTube viewers, and yes, it is the subject which is fascinating, and as Shagun has introduced very well, and you are all enthusiastic graduates who are willing and having ambitions to serve not only our nation and into the global scenario. And the subject of insight and the scope and approach. When you see the time for Ayurveda, of course, it is the period of Renaissance. When I compare myself to see where I am from over 2 decades, and ever since I would say from the beginning of 1985 onwards, as a postgraduate student, and having the ambition. So, the ambitions which we have to create for the opportunities which will rise into the global perspective of spreading Ayurveda, because it is not yet, even though so many decades have been passed, Ayurveda is no regulations by means of a freedom to practice. I would like to share the screen. Allow me to share the screen.
Allow, sir.
Also,
Please share screen, sir.
yeah.
Allow.
Okay. Share screen is not allowed for me. It's Microsoft. Yeah. Entire screen share. 1 minute. Yes. Okay. Right. Here, where I have to go to select my. Where is the. Are you able to see the screen? No.
Yes, sir.
You're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
It's able to see.
Yeah. An insight on scope and approach of BMS graduate across various countries and abroad. Yeah, it is a very interesting subject, and as well as it's very fascinating to see that how a graduate from India. But recently, now I would like to share what it is happening now at the moment. We are at the verge of bringing BAMS as an outsourcing syllabus and curriculum, first time ever, into the West. So that is one thing we should be very happy to understand where we are now. I can't see myself. Well, you are able to see the screen, but I'm not able to see myself, isn't it? Okay,
No,
that's
sir.
fine. Yeah, this is a typical screen. My presentation. Right. Anyway, so Ayush Ministry has received.
Sir, not visible screen.
Not able to. Hello.
Not able to see. Yes.
Yes.
Now screen is seen, but when I am seeing the screen, I am not able to see myself. Why is that? Anyway, because it's very important to see the screen also, that's fine. When you see the qualifications and experience, legality and practices, areas of growth and scope or approaches for Ayurveda practitioners and establishment. And when we see Ayurveda is well reached
सर प्लीज
now,
फुल स्क्रीन कर दीजिए.
कहाँ पर फुल स्क्रीन कर दीजिए. इज दिस द वन? ओके.
Yes, thank you,
या,
sir.
राइट. So it is a good news that Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapit NCISM guidelines and guidelines for outsourcing the BAMS curriculum into the West. I understand Ayush Ministry's interventions. More than 50% of nations, and actively, I would say, around a quarter of the nations have already been reached by means of establishing some kind of memorandum of understandings and research protocols into the universities, institutes, and academics, and as well as hospitals, where active research protocols are going on. And that way, the legalization is getting a process. When we see the countries like India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and neighboring countries where our enriched tradition of Ayurveda practices are well recognized way before, and we are all able to see how actively the practices and as well as the education is being established. But as it is coming to southeastern countries, the extension is much aware. The establishments in Malaysia, you can see, and Bangkok, you can see, Thailand, and as well as other Southeast Asian countries actively growing into the establishment of Ayurveda academics, and as well as to the as well as we can say Ayur entrepreneurships are the private organizations, and also the associations who are actively working. When it comes to the countries like Western countries, the area of recognition, when we say I'm more than 20 years or more than 2 decades being in United Kingdom, 25, 26 years now, what I have observed, Ayurveda was well established into Thames Valley University for BA honors degree Ayurveda programs, and as well as subsequently BSc, MSc graduation programs have also been introduced into Middlesex University. So where I was teaching. That's how I entered into United Kingdom as a teacher for these programs. But what I would say, the establishment of companies, establishment of Ayurveda fraternities, franchises, like Kerala Ayurveda practices or Kerala and Ayurveda Panchakarma centers, for example. And you can see so many countries establishment of these Kerala Panchakarma centers by entrepreneurs. And today, if you see the biggest um, lobby from Kerala, worth more than $1 million dollar project over than that. It is already an integrated hospital being established, and also it's working unities in with the royal franchises over here in United Kingdom under the Center of Excellence, of course. But as we have to see why Kerala Panchakarma Ayurveda centers are well established into the West or any other more countries. And if you see United Arab Emirates or the Gulf countries, Dubai, and so many places, they are all working very well. So the first important thing is it is the time now as the government of Bharat, after our beloved Prime Minister since 2014, have given us a greater opportunity to spread among the ancient wisdom into the rest of the world under the globalization, global healthcare, and one earth and one health policy, and everything is there in its place now as a ready means for any graduate to look opportunities in abroad. But for looking into those opportunities, there is no any such kind of a campus recruitment kind of appointments like IT sector or the directly the requirements from different companies are being boosted now. And one way we can see the enrichment of these opportunities growing as entrepreneurship is also growing, and several sectors from NGOs to hospitals or the centers or wellness centers or um, pharmacies, and as well as different franchises from India, and they are all establishing and they recruit their own known people at the moment, and that is how it is continuing. And in London itself, are so many Panchakarma, Kerala, and Ayurveda practices. We can see the centers are there, but near and dear people, known people, and that is the way the recruitment goes on for the requirement into their establishments. Similarly, as Kerala has projected as one state into the lobby for Ayurveda, each state in India should have these kind of representations by the franchises or entrepreneurs or the people. It doesn't matter, it is a business model. And under this business model, and it creates a lot of opportunities for young budding entrepreneur graduates to emigrate or work on contract basis. Last year, in fact, we tried a lot. We tried a lot when I personally, I think in August 9th or 19th, in the ministry, I have submitted a proposal from the National Health Service trusts in the United Kingdom, and two or three trusts we negotiated, and the bosses of this National Health Service trust mutually agreed for a short period of time to have such kind of negotiations on the terms of non-clinical interventions. So there is no any clinical interventions, non-therapeutic interventions, as a means of like physical treatments, yoga, and abhyangas, or we have so many means of shirobhasti, shirodhara, and subsequently all these treatment protocols. Nothing is being as an invasion like medicine or anything is being given orally, and they agreed to have a short period of time to show any significance among the patient care and the patient wellness. The wellness of the patients in the restoration, from the geriatric patients to age old care to orthopedic conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or any surgical interventions like hip replacement, knee replacement surgeries, and postponing these surgical interventions by means of Ayurveda therapeutic protocols, which will reduce their pain and palliative care into the terminal stage patients as well, where the pain management is being anticipated by these treatments, and especially into the mind health restorations by these Shirodhara treatments or any other Abhyanga, Navana, all these treatments which are non-invasive protocols. And these negotiations has to be taken place, and that was the proposal hardly with a few groups we represented. And we anticipated a lot. Ayush Ministry sending its its delegation for further negotiations to accept, because there was one movement under Public Health Department where where the talks and dialogues went on into the acceptability and inclusiveness of these Ayurvedic non-therapeutic interventional protocols and treatments. But then the question arised in the meetings, because last few months back we also had um, um, practitioners of practitioners of Indian origin professionals in United Kingdom. For example, there's integrative protocols and integrative methods of not only research but also establishment was discussed among 50 plus consultants and doctors from conventional medicine have joined for a 2 day summit, which ended up. And from India, Darshan Shankarji was there, Bhushan Patwardhanji was there, and as well as from Bangalore, the Unikrishnanji was there, and so many other delegations. Time to time, they came, and they represented to have a healthy discussions about what is the integrative medicine, how it should be integrated, what are the areas where the inclusiveness should be there, and as a mutual respect into these systems of conventional, non-conventional go hand in hand without losing and without crossing their interests of their areas where they are able to prescribe or practice or allowed to do so. Because if you see legality in terms of UK to start with, by law or by constitution, a herbalist who is a qualified professional by law under the constitution of United Kingdom is able to practice once you associate to any group or identity as a member or self-regulatory bodies or associations and legal bodies which are being registered with the company's house. And then liability, because our association, for example, Association of Ayurveda Academy, CIC, is a community interest based company which is registered with the company's house and doing all these community services, including the Ayurveda education and awareness programs and so on. So this is how the recognized so many bodies are there in United Kingdom, and all these like British Ayurvedic Medical Council, for example, which is established a few years back, and I'm also one of the executive member for that. But bringing all these associations put together, and under that negotiations should happen with the government, as the government should be initiated to bring the dialogue or delegation directly with the government, Department of Health or Ayush Ministry, and the Ministry of Health and Education in United Kingdom, and they should have the first dialogues and bringing all these dignitaries or experts onto the stage, and then discuss about the stepwise inclusiveness, what it should be. And that was that kind of effort last year we did. And the question when it is arise that under experimental basis, one or the two national health service hospitals or systems or managements who are willing to incorporate these non-invasive protocols, and then how far it can be successful to discuss upon. And where is the strength? How many graduates are you there in United Kingdom? For example, if we can count on MDs or PhDs, and within a short like 20, 30, 50 plus, not more than that, shall we find the postgraduates or PhDs? Maybe PhDs are 1 to 5, and then MDs completed maybe 15, 20, and not more than that. And the graduates, BAMS, maybe around a few hundreds. And that is how the strength in United Kingdom, you would say, since beginning of my observations from more than 25 years now, the strength of Ayurveda fraternity. In spite of these few hundreds of these Ayurveda professionals who are practicing or regulated or and they're doing
Sir,
their
please
activities.
change the slides.
Yeah, yeah, the slides, yes, very good reminder for me. And just we'll go through the slides at the beginning to see.
Thank you,
And
sir.
these are the countries. Yeah, are you able to see the slides? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Now you see the European Union, Hungary, Serbia, and Switzerland are fully recognized and legally accepted for Ayurveda practices and establishment, and that's fine. As we can see, Romania, Slovenia, because there are so many franchises from Ayurveda pharmacies who are established there, and regularly there are lot of professionals coming from India, and they're all doing these activities under the framework of these European Union trades. And when it comes to the Germany, and you will see the Germany under the health practice. Health practice are the complementary and alternative medicine practitioners in Germany, because there is a lot of interest in Germany, but unfortunately, you cannot directly, as an Ayurveda professional body, will execute, and otherwise you have to be one or the other way. in association with complementary and alternative medicine, health practice. Under the supervision only, you can be able to do these activities. Then in Germany, at currently in the one of the hospitals for mental health care professionals and doctors, there is an active involvement of all therapeutic protocols are being followed, Panchakarma, in an integrated hospital model. They are showing wonderful results, and this Nambudri family is also involved in it. There are so many such establishments are there in interested companies or the franchises or from Kerala or from different entrepreneurs who started and mutually established the legality of exchange programs to the research protocols, and as well as an establishment of wellness centers and so on. But this has to grow an extension of a big acceptability. It only will happen when the government to government dialogues will takes place eventually step by step. And that is where, because first of all, it is the priority to the point of the safety protocols and health and safety protocols, and then to the it is a new subject for any conventional system to accept and digest, and we are able to translate it, translational research, and as well as equivalent, and bringing that rationality into the point of how the preventative aspects of the medicine has a greater role to play into the global health and wellness to take place. It is not medicine at all. We cannot even say medicine at all. It is, we are not concerned about even giving anything orally, but still you are able to bring a lot of changes into the health spectrum for the sufferers to minimize under the pain and palliative care management to minimizing adversities to delaying the surgical unnecessary interventions to so many things to mental health restoration. Everything is possible, but just by only lifestyle alterations and therapeutic models, non-invasive protocols, and as well as then diet or food as medicine as a means of prescriptions alone. It not no herbals is required, and even then we need to have a proper dialogue has to be set up by the government or department. Our ministry has to send to the delegations where the willingness into the forms of conventional health systems or there, or the Department of Health and Department of Education, Department of Health and Health and Educational Ministries. These are the two main, and through the Indian Embassy that has to happen. So we were anticipating that the Ayush Ministry can recruit interested graduates for 1 year or 2 year, and then bring over here. It was also there in the newspaper and then being spread out, but nothing has happened at the end. The delegation did not come, but we are still looking and anticipating the past glory of established graduation programs under Dr. B.M. Hegde from Manipal Academy of Higher Education, who initiated for the BA Honors Degree Ayurveda program, and so many hundreds of graduates who came out of that or successfully if you are practicing, and that is the way Ayurveda should progress. But when you see the legality perspectives, and as I mentioned, that you need to have a professional indemnity certificate or insurance according to the country and to the requirement or the legal controlling bodies, whether it is European herbal traditional medicinal practice ethics or associations, or in the UK from the APA or Ayurveda Practitioners Association or British Ayurveda Medical Association, or even our association, or so many associations. Once you are legally binded with these associations, and then you are allowed or offered the professional indemnity insurance. Once you have this cover for any incident, then you are able to practice legally. It is the legality as we see black and white to the gray areas, where you cannot just say that anybody would directly come and practice. But there are countries like that. When we see into the Gulf Middle East countries like in Dubai, and we have an examination, and you sit for that examination set for Ayurveda fraternity, and you qualify into those examinations like General Medical Council or Indian Medical Association or something like that, as a body which is governing for Ayurveda professionals who would like to emigrate and practice in United Arab Emirates, and they have to go through and qualify these basic requirements, and then you are legally allowed to practice. There are certain areas in that as well, but country to wise, you have to. There's a lot of information online. It is already available, and you can just search and source it, and then establish the contacts. And this is what the interest of a graduate, to expose more into the meetings, or the conferences or summits or interactions with. Now we can see like Ayur visas, e visas, and so much of um, patients from Western countries are coming under Ayush tourism, and this is where you have to actively involve into the engagement of these treatment protocols being set up in India. And then once you are recognized as a set of establishment in India, and taking care of the so much of tourists or who are seeking the treatments. Why is it Kerala? Because Kerala has taken such an enormous pains and skills to execute their traditional methods of treatment protocols for the patients and wellness. And there are so many member of parliamentarians and leaders, or the high-fi people, and who could go and have these treatments, and that's how the interest and believe in Ayurveda has developed. And that is the reason why in the West, when you say Ayurveda, means it's coming from Kerala. And why not every state in India has to do this kind of commitment for your own centers of establishment within your country? And there are a lot of tourists coming, and not only into the tourist areas. That's how the Ayurveda has propagated. So one or the other way, attending the seminars, conferences, to fairs, and or the Ayush trades and shows and so many things actively, and establishing relations. And that is how now we can see not less than 50 professionals every year from India, and they are all coming into the European countries, and they are doing their own short term, because legally you're not able to practice, but you are able to bring awareness programs over here under the group who are recruiting you or bringing you, and then learning from you. And indirectly they are also benefited from the kind of the supplements what they are bringing over here. And this is how Ayur entrepreneurship should be a main important role you must play as a, together as a group, to launch a franchise, whether it is Ayush nutraceuticals. To the point of view, the Ayush Ministry is having an enormous international cooperative, kind of franchises under the Ayush food, Ayush Ahar, and you must get registered, or establish yourself with the contacts to spread Ayurveda among the globe. It's not like anybody who can just give you a job like information and technology professionals and recruitment bodies. It might happen in the future as a recruitment process will continue into the mass scale of the requirements of the graduates and budding 1 or 2 years of these practices, or what you call like a contract based employments, and which might be a realistic truth. So the trades are going on, and you can see the opportunities which are rising, as yes, I talked about this Aish Expo, which is happening in Dubai next February, 15 to 17 February, and a similar kind of required entry examinations for you to clear and qualify for immigrating into these Arab countries for practices. And of course, Mauritius is second Bharat, of course, where we can have such requirements to go if you are interested to. And Malaysia is also into the form of much establishments now with the Jiva Ayurveda art, I would say, is my colleague Pratap Singh Chauhan, and so many people. And Gulf countries, when the visit of our recent Prime Minister into those countries has made into the more tie-ups for this mutual growth, which is developing. Um, and as I mentioned, these are all the things which are actively, Ayush cells and establishments, center of excellence to the research protocols. In United Kingdom, we can see now the ashwagandha post-COVID, long COVID cases are being registered for the kind of research for the efficacy of ashwagandha is being studied under the London School of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. And this is one of the project which since 2 3 years now it's an ongoing project, as long as center of excellence being established from, as I said before, from the Carolean investment into the Royal Prince Charles Foundation. That's the two establishments from the Ayush Ministry committed in United Kingdom. Similarly, in so many countries, it is all happening. So now the interesting subject is that what is your approach? Your approach should be, it's not like you can just wait, anybody would give you a job, an offer, but you have to initiate yourself to try and establish and link and develop communications and continue into the efforts of finding and because it is now evidential that online you would find a lot of information available about these organizations. And it is for sure, because when they are recruiting, if there is any private franchises, and they recruit their own known near and dear people from India, and they will bring, and then they are growing. And because you see, in any country, if you would like to advertise for any recruitments, and you have to clear that there is none available for such kind of expertness, or there is no any employees available in that country, then only you can recruit from India. And otherwise, you have to recruit in your own country who are available. So either you should have a vision of establishing yourself like a group of people or a group of investors, and collectively you have to approach and come out with any kind of franchise, because there is much areas. And for example, as I mentioned, into the wellness establishment centers or retreats, or a kind of holistic methods of approaches. For example, from the Garbha Samskar point of view or fertility point of view, for example, like um, Ayurveda protocols for the people who would like to have a progeny, and for a healthy progeny. So you have to have this franchise, and you have to establish, that it is screening methods are there for male and female, and all panchakarma protocols are there, and dietary regulations are there. An environment is being created for the lifestyle, and that is how you can be successfully encountering all the healthy progeny as a requirement, like 3 months before to conceive, as a minimum protocol of the Ayurvedic interventions should a couple undergo. And I'm giving an example. Otherwise, there are so many places where you can actively establish for like the autistic spectrum disorders, and the children are being treated very well with our Ayurvedic interventions under Daiva Vipashraya. There are so much of protocols, as I mentioned, in Arab countries. When I see this sand and sun and sand, and the source of the water, with the herbs as a means of rituals for the autistic spectrum disorders, from the Panchagavya treatments and so on, whatever may be the kind of franchise. So you have to find to the requirement of any country to the point of health survey, and what are the specific dysfunctions, disorders which are much more prevalent, and then how Ayurvedic interventions into the preventative to the promotional and as well as therapeutic protocols where conventional medicine has its limitations into the ventures like terminal stage patients who may be cared with the pain management and palliative care treatment or quality enhancement of the patient care may be. So that is the way a graduate can work into the retreats and as well as like spas and as well as business models like you can see in aviation sector in multi-faceted corporates in the societies like the five-star hotels and as well as to the retreat centers or the beach resorts, and they are all there. So either should you be initiating from your own point of view to the big franchises to establish their businesses under the is tourism as a vice versa, where the patients are being brought from abroad and being treated in India, and vice versa, your centers are being established into the West as well. So now I can see now today, and you can also Google and see so many centers from Kerala, and they are all there established, their franchises, their lobbies, and their apex bodies into the West. In Germany also you can find. So that is a business model. So it is not that you always seeking a job opportunity where I can apply and get a job. Rather, you create a job for the people, or you create a lobby, you create a group of people who are interested and take over. If you have like few hundred thousands of pounds and are you able to generate and invest into the health business, and then you will have a business visa being issued under your the monetary, and this group of people with these hundreds of thousands of pounds as a project to show that where you are trying to establish and what you are doing, and you have your own franchise to take over there and establish, and hardworking, because hardworking is always rewarding. And you see in now in Croatia, for example, recently when I visited Prime Minister Modi ji when he came, and hundreds of young generations, youngsters they came. I have ever seen before. I was teaching in every month in Croatia, going and build up these Ayurveda professionals, and there are two, three big franchises of Ayurveda actively participating and involved with like SDM College of UDP and as well as Avian College Madurai, where I suggested that there are still professionals and doctors who are regularly visiting in Croatia from that perspective. Third one I mentioned about Jiva Ayurveda or Planet Ayurveda, and so many people are there. So why I'm telling is because under this requirement of the requirement of youth in Croatia into the different sectors, even like hotel businesses to cab services or like day-to-day food services to any other social social works or construction business, and they are just bringing huge amount of immigrants where it is required. Vice versa, you can see now what's happening in United States. Of course there is no much requirement of any professionals. So time to time the changes and situations will happen from country to country, and similarly into Australia as well. Recently you can see that how the protests against too much of lobbying from Bharat or Indian community, and that is the way the saturation points where the countries doesn't require, or where the countries actively looking, and that you must be researching every time, looking into the policies and as well as the finding out the associations, and then online everything is available now, and then associate with those groups and then see if there is any because it's the easiest way of immigration is just a dependent visas. That's how you can see how BAMS graduates practicing in the West are coming through, either from like a married husband or a wife, and that is how they immigrated, and then they're now being a qualified BAMS. Now you come and register with some of the organizations or associations and get a professional indemnity insurance and start your own practice. So this is how it is an ongoing business now over 25 years plus of my observations, where Ayurveda professionals can actively can involve into multisectoral projects of bringing harmony into the community health by means of your own franchises. So it is not a ready-made reference for anybody can apply as a BMS graduates and seek any job into the outsourcing yourself into the sector. It's very rare because, as I mentioned, because their own people, why anybody would just advertise and get a new people? Because if I have my own near and dear or friends and colleagues who completed and I would like to bring them on board when I have established my own franchise. If it is that case, then why don't you get involved with the rich people, rich investors, and then take those investors a group into your confidentiality, and then bring up a network that you are giving your expert services and they are bringing the resources what it is required for that, and establish a wellness center, a wellness retreat, and as well as a holistic method of yoga and Ayurveda retreats. And that is how you personally grow, because there is a huge market, potential huge market for these wellness businesses there into the West. And the food as a medicine is enormous. If you go to any country, you may have an Ayurveda protocols of the 40 to 50% of the therapeutic formulations you can prepare yourself because the resources are available. And that is how available sources of the spices, available sources of the vegetable kingdom to the fruits and so many things where 30 to 40% of Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia can meet with the regular day-to-day based consuming substances, where potentially you can build up the formulations for the benefit of the people, where you can personally prescribe or disseminate into the establishment as a food as a medicine sources. So there is no medicine, there is no problem. The area of the legality under the control is by your recognitions and as a means of a registered, self-regulated bodies into the practices. So that's one thing that we can see. Now, recently, all these summits when I visited, and you can see this school is establishment in Germany. So we are trying back into the same higher entrepreneurship of establishment and growing your own businesses and seeking an opportunity for serving the not only into the nation but also into the uh, mm, yeah, uh, yeah. So that is where there is a much more opportunities are available globally for you to grow and become prosper when you can find a source or a group of people either from India, Bharat, and establish yourself to recognize a center of wellness and then bring the patients and patient care. And that's how our wellness is being offered because um, mm, our own country is much regulatories which are the requirements. So legalities are different from country to country, and you have to find opportunities, searching constant employment if it is there any, and please let us know. So that is the way the interest and enthusiasm among graduates is growing. That is good to see, but you have to put efforts. I think Dr. Shagun, are you Shagun Agarwal? Are you a BMS doctor?
Yes, so.
Right. So since I thought that it was for the audience who are there here, and I would have interactive sessions among for the people who are interested in. But if it is just an educational session for YouTube viewers, and that's fine. I mean, we are here because there are some other meetings are also there under Ayurveda Day celebrations day after tomorrow started already, and actively involved into those meetings as well. So the Shivam was one of my student in Gorakhpur, and he who suggested me has wrote me about this, and then that's how I came. And fortunately, I can see my classmate Dr. Ishwar Rao is also here with me and sharing his experience. Hello, Dr. Ishwar Rao, are you there? Yeah, Mr. Dr. Sonavan Jayesh.
Shabam question hello.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for that inspiring lecture. Your words will stay with us and guide us in applying Ayurveda in our lives. Sir, a few questions have come from the audience. May we take them with your kind permission?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Sir, the very first question is, how do graduates navigate licensing and certification processes abroad?
Certification, because you are already qualified BAMS from India, and equivalent is something like we have like a NARIC or any equivalent bodies which are by your certification is being equated to a graduation program in UK or any other country. So you are already qualified. There is no other qualification requirement is needed. Only requirement is legality for you to emigrate. The immigration is the as a law by law, because as a by law requirement to immigrate, you are able to immigrate when somebody is there as a partner, like like a family member, because it's family member means it is parents who are parents and children relationship, and no husband relationship, and no brotherly relationship. So that allows you to, on the grounds of family requirements, you can immigrate, or on an Ayurveda professional immigration. For example, on Ayurveda certificates, when we emigrated on the basis of what you call like the visas which are skilled visas, highly skilled migrant program. Like the highly skilled migrant program was established in 2002 January. So we applied on those grounds and got immigration status on Ayurveda degrees, because it's an MD, PhD, whatever the degrees we presented or the proposals we prepared. And that is how I remember in United Kingdom, on the Ayurveda degrees immigrated, as far as I know, only two people, myself and Dr. Raghunandan Sharma, immigrate. And similarly, like that, every country may have a requirements, like whether you are a skilled migrant or under skilled migrant program, can you do that? Or any recruitment or under any requirements as I mentioned. So that is legality status for you to emigrate. That is important. Otherwise, you are qualified to practice. You are qualified to practice. So the immigration status should be for your clearance requirements. That is how. If you are studying something, you came as a student visa, but a student visa has to be transformed into a working visa unless you find a job, someone is offering you, then you can shift to your working visa requirements. So work permit requirements. So to create those work permit requirements, and you have to create a franchise, you have to make a lobby, like investors group, or you're bringing an investor, or yourself with a lobby, like investing, like four doctors, as I mentioned, four doctor contributing a few £100,000, and you have generated the fund for you, and this fund is there as a business model, and you go to embassy with the business model that, look, we are like to establish this Ayurveda wellness center in, like in Croatia or in coastal area, in many places. So like that, whether it is a Sri Ayurveda or some other Mohanji Guruji or some other franchises, Maharshi Ayurveda is there, Mahesh Yogi is, or is Ramdev Babaji is there. These are all the big franchises. So similar like that, small group of business model is created for a country, and the country gives you a business visa because you are investing, and you establish a center there, and you work. So that is how you create your own opportunity as an Ayur entrepreneurship under Ayur nutraceuticals preparations, maybe under Ayush wellness center establishment, maybe under Ayush tourism visas, maybe like that. There are so many projects are there under Ayush Ministry now, under the international cooperation, where you can become any place, maybe Ayurveda wellness centers. So you have to research it, you have to find and who is establishing, and then you have to contact with those people. That is how you have to develop first contacts, and then try to work on those repeatedly. There are so many doctors are coming from India because they are connected with the patient group. So one or the two treatments, then the patient, when they treated in India in their own centers, and they offer them to come and then extend their services into a local communities, what they create. That's how we have done in the past. Also, we have done in all these European countries similarly. So that is the way. There is no any direct means of any center where you can apply and get a job. There is a central processing, as I mentioned. It has to happen. It will only happen when the Indian government, we invited a delegation to have this dialogue with a NHS trust hospital. It did not move forward. Otherwise, there was requirements like hundreds of graduates who can work for 1 year or 2 years and then go. And that is why then annually we will assess what is the benefits, what are the benefits they achieved by recruiting these, how significantly this trust has shown enormous improvement in the general health in the public. So that is the way studies have to be done. So the government has to initiate directly to have a dialogue with the government. That is the only way you will have a mass recruitment is possible for the graduates. Like in Mauritius, it is possible with the government of India, and United Arab Emirates, it is possible now, and so many other countries, as I mentioned. So you keep on searching online the opportunities. Yeah. Um,
So the
any.
second question is,
Yeah.
what are the common challenges faced by BAMS graduates in practicing Ayurveda abroad?
Yeah, the common challenges are it's a new country, new people, new understanding, cultural diversity, variations. It is not the same way you treat and practice in India what you have been trained. But then you must see the pulse of the people and understand the limitations, the requirement. As I mentioned, that you cannot say medicine, it is just only a food supplements. What are the available sources? Because if you see, every substance is available as a natural source under the trade, where like Indian trades, or like where the Punjabi group or Gujarati group or Western Bengali group or Keralian Tamil group or whoever it is, they are bringing their health supplements requirements into the groceries. That's how we find. You name a herb, it is available in London. Why is it? Because their traders are there. So it does not mean that you are legally able to select any toxic substances or poisonous substances or metal herbomineral combinations. We will not do that. What it is available, something is like there is a control body, like a medicines and healthcare regulatory agency. If the medicines and healthcare regulatory agency, what are the things which are approved under the single herbs or two combinations of herbs, over the counter products, what are being sold or what are being available. So you can pick and choose. If you want to, like Trikato is there, or the say the Sitapaladi Churnam preparations are there, Triphala is there, or any other, even one Trivurta available, Avipatikara Churna, you can make at home. So that is what you can prepare your own formulations with the available sources, then the practice becomes easy for you. Like Mandokuparni, Vellari, Gotukola is there just only. So if you see the healthcare products, there are so many wonderful number one quality products available in the vegetable or in the groceries, what Ayurveda select for those practices. So you can do that because you can have like a fresh turmeric available. So if you see like garlic, for example, the garlic, coastal garlic or mountain garlic, they are two different type of wild garlic available in European countries, in in Croatia, and also Nirgundi is available in the coastal area. So you will naturally some of the things which are naturally grown available species. So you must get that source of materials is not difficult for any country if you go, and they because there are natural products are there, from the vegetable sources to the groceries to the spices to the local grown substances or western herbal. Then you combinedly you can have a protocol of therapeutic substances can be prevented as a herbal medicine. Every herbal medicine is Ayurveda under that what we consider ourselves, and we know how we can practice with the sources available there. So that's not a problem. So only problem is the legality as implications to the point of immigration. Immigration is the point. Once you have immigration is cleared or achieved, or the source for immigration, what are the sources where you can immigrate, how you can immigrate, that is what it is, isn't it?
So the next question is, how can Ayurveda be positioned as part of climate friendly healthcare abroad, since herbal and natural medicine often reduce environmental burden compared to pharmaceuticals?
Yeah, I mean, like environmental awareness about the nature and its conservation and the sources or endangered species, like CITES reported substances, what are the enlisted endangered species. So there is information about those substances which are available online, and looking for those things. If I correctly understand the question, can you repeat, please?
Yes, sir. How can Ayurveda be positioned as part of climate friendly healthcare abroad, since herbal and natural medicine often reduce environmental burden compared to pharmaceuticals?
Yeah. Yeah, that is the farm. I mean, like the quality assurance products which are coming out from the nature, that's high quality products. Because when we see the adulterations and commercialization, and because if you see Dashamula, and just by Dashamula buying in different places, you have to compromise to the limitedness of the species availability. It is not that the same all roots are not available, and you may see the aerial parts maybe, because the problem for ashwagandha came out only the reason why, because it is not the same Videnia somnifera root which is being maybe considered into the commercialization. Maybe if it is any aerial parts of ashwagandha being used and toxicity being reported in North European countries, that's how the ashwagandha became as a problem into the West for use, and it is a big issue for the ashwagandha, because who knows if it is a Videnia somnifera root and its extract methods, what it is being, and that definitely will not have any such kind of adversities as they have claimed that ashwagandha has produced. So that species and its identity and part of its being utility, and that Ayurveda and Ayurveda professionals should well know. Other than that, and that is where identifying for the safety of the species is very much important anywhere you go, and thus the conservation of these natural products and then promoting. Because I wanted to see even the Jyotishmati as a wild species in available in Croatia. That was I wanted to see that Jyotishmati is grown into the wilderness of the Croatia. So we must do and survey into the belts as you go from this tropical belt to the higher and higher. The species number is reducing, and we can see Vastu Kashakam like Chinapudi, Malban, and Amarantha species. So many species, naturally variants are available here, and then the resources can be not exploited into the more into the commercialization, and then our products under the nutraceuticals should also be coming through from this quality enhanced availability of the sources to recommend into the local people for the local preparations. That will be the most important, as Ayurveda also principles will say that what are the available natural